can still remember what it was like the first time I stepped into a race car. The sound of the engine, the anticipation, but I never could have imagined where this journey would take me. My father once told me that racing is just like life. You have to stay on your toes, because you never know what's around the next corner. My name is Bill Watson, and this is my story.
Beneath an Iowonian twilight from the sprint car capital of the world, Knoxville Speedway, this is the Global Sim Racing Channel's final round coverage of the CSI Shocks Spring Season Championship. The Camarillo Cannonball, Brendan Rogers, has yet to be beaten in a heat race. Such an accomplishment has been rewarded by his crowning as champion with still a race remaining on the schedule. But while the title may not be in doubt, this evening's winners very much are. Many of the familiar names are here to try to close out the season on a high note. What isn't here are wings, as fans will get a good look at the drivers behind the wheel of their 410 sprint cars. And all the dirt track action, including the heats, semis, and a main, can be seen live as it happens right here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. Hello and welcome, everyone. Joe Peak joins yours truly, Bill Soups on, way up in the press box to bring you our bird's eye view. Sean Crackers Ambrose has director duties armed with cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Okay, Joe, last time the schedule read Knoxville, I almost went to Tennessee. Lesson learned, as I knew this time to head straight for the Hawkeye State. What's this place all about?
This place is about sprint cars. It's even got the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum just outside the track. But tonight, the fact that we're going old school and taking the wings off the cars makes this a hell of a lot trickier. It's a shallow half mile, only 8 degrees of banking. So with all the oomph underneath the 410, it'll be slippery and tricky to find speed around here. It's not just about finding the grip, but also how much control you have with that right foot. Just to complicate things, there's a berm to the inside where they've left the lane for exiting the pit. So there's no visual markers there for the berm, so it can sometimes get a bit tough to tell exactly where the edge is. You can flirt with it and tip it a little bit, but give it a good thwack and your car could spin or potentially even get some air. Expect tonight to be about those who can get right up to the edge of disaster without falling victim to it, Bill.
Well, a man who may fall victim to disaster but won't have to suffer any consequences for it is our point leader, Brendan Rogers. Let's go ahead and take a look at the points right now. Keep in mind that these take into account the 2 races allowed to be dropped in the rules, so it's really a driver's best 9 of 11. With an 88-point lead, 88 points in his pocket as insurance if things go south, there is no way for Aiden Purdue to close the gap to Brendan Rogers. But the good news for Purdue, for similar reasons, he is secure in the runner-up position. With 4 heat wins this season, more than any other driver other than Rogers, things would really have to go dark for day not to get third. But the math still gives a crumb of a chance to get that final podium spot. Jonathan Schaefer picked up his 3rd heat win last time out. Let's look at the other championship that is a little closer than the one we were talking about before. Cody Stidham and Jonathan Schaefer, only separated by a point in the hard charger. Bryce Lucius, who was leading going into last round, now is 6 points back. That's going to be a hard gap to close. Chad Wheeler, who's been missing races of late, has now dropped down in fourth, and Aiden reduced to second of the overall points, rounds out our hard charger overlay. Joe, race conditions always matter depending on the weather. What's it look like here?
Well, the weather right now is a nice cool 71 degrees as we watch the sun just finish setting up. Although doesn't prevent troubles apparently on screen. A little bit of an accident happening. So no real wind to talk about. And honestly, it's only partly cloudy. So even if we did get some cloud cover with the last bit of sun, it wouldn't change much of anything. We are, though, in the final round here, which is, as you said, without the championship, not that meaningful, but still, for anybody who's hoping to change their position, they'll be paying attention to that sort of thing. We're in the 410 wings or non-wing sprint car, which is the most power you've got here on iRacing in any of the non-wing sprint cars. And the setups on them are thankfully fixed, so they don't really need to worry about that. As always, we've got the heats, which will determine how the semifinals will be lined up, not including those who advance to the A-main, which will be decided by those semifinals. And tonight, we'll decide the last of those $2,000 in prizes and how they're going to be handed out when all is said and done. Bill?
Of course, there are drop races. We always talk about it. The bright side of drop races are if you have to miss a race, remember this is sim racing after all, and there's sometimes there's a lot of youngsters here. So there's homework to be done. There's real world obligations. If you miss an event or two, you don't get crushed in the points. The dark side to drop races is when you get into the final event, like we are here today, your points are pretty much secured because you got a little bit of cushion. You know that you're going to drop some. Sometimes that hurts attendance a little bit. I think that's might be going on here tonight, as we're a little smaller than usual, but it'll still be an exciting event no matter what. They always put on good racing, and you get to enjoy these type of camera shots. Hey, I like that one, director. Watch out, he's bouncing towards you.
and yeah, I mean, excitement, like you just saw right there, is what we're probably going to see a lot of. These are extremely difficult cars, as Sam Johnson just shows. The league organizer getting out to have some fun here in practice while he can. It's really going to be the most difficult as you start to see the track do right there. As you can see at the bottom where it's starting to get shiny down there. When the track slicks up, there is just so much power, Bill. I've driven a lot in the Lotus 49, which many consider one of the most difficult cars on iRacing. I'd say this is tougher than that with that right foot. Trying to get the power down when the track has so much rubber and heat in it that I struggle to get clean laps without spinning the car, frankly, when the track is completely slicked up.
The fact that your favorite car is the Lotus 49, even though I have about 25 years on you on this planet, I do enjoy your affection for racing history. And you talked about these cars looking old school, except for the roll cage on them. It's a throwback to, you might as well see AJ Foyt in one of these ones, or Mario Andretti sitting in there. It's the way I like to see these cars.
Well, and that's really appropriate because these are the USAC cars that Foyt and Andretti used to run that before CART took over back in the day. So this really is the roots of this style of dirt racing.
In fact, you talked about that. One of our sponsors in the heat races, it is Clausen. The Clausen guys put a car into the Clausen Marshall. Yeah, put a car into the Indy 500. I think Pippa Mann might have been Pippa Mann's car, if I remember right.
And I believe Clausen has a building around here named after him. It might even be the museum itself. I'd have to check on that. But yeah, Brian was a big name in dirt racing in general, and it was kind of awesome him getting him to do Indy, considering this is what he did before he passed away. He was really meaningful.
Practice going on out there right now. Qualifying will start up in a minute. Race control talking to the drivers, thanking them all for coming out, and we thank them for coming out as well, and we thank you for watching here on the Global Sim Racing Channel, our final round coverage of the CSI Shocks Spring Season Championship. Man, it has been fun covering it, and we hope to do it again when they decide to come back for another season. We'll be there to bring you all the action.
Kind of wonder if we're going to see maybe things a little bit different. Roger's still here, so he could still take this away, but it's such a small field. could be shaken up a little bit with maybe fewer drivers to compete with for a win, Bill.
Big names are all here. Brennan Rogers, Aiden Perdue is here as well. Chance Crum, Corey Day. Field of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, what? 16
17.
It looks like when I count them all. 17, yeah. Okay.
No, you were right. We don't count Sam Johnson because he's not going to be racing.
He's coming in here. One of the idiosyncrasies of modern technology is Sam need to come in, join the session so he could talk to the drivers. We'll get that worked out soon. Okay, they're just about ready to start up practice or start up qualifying.
Yep, and
rolling out.
A few drivers waiting a while to try and take to the track. For those who haven't been watching all season, that's pretty normal here. Again, you'll have a bit of an idea of what the track will be like, but they do change conditions somewhat. They basically change the track to 25% usage according to iRacing. As Avery Goodman actually just botched his first lap already. So the track will change somewhat. Some drivers kind of wait, watch, see who's running what line and what gets good results out there before they sneak out and try it themselves.
Watch our tower to the left as the numbers start to come in. Carter Batterby up to the top. Well, that was short-lived as Brendan Rogers goes ahead and gets that top spot.
And, of course, as always, only 3 laps that they can take here in qualifying to try and get their fastest time in.
Unlike practice, when they were all out there together, they do have the track to themselves. It's one of the things we can do in sim racing. They're all qualifying at the same time, but they do have a track to themselves.
Rogers going to try one last lap. This is his third one. His second was his fastest so far, and his third goes 4 thousandths of a second faster. But it looks like he was overtaken for the pole once again.
Carter Batterby gets up there. A good job from him. One of the Batterby brothers racing with us today.
Chance Crum is out there now. His first lap actually puts him up in third. He was very wide through 1 and 2 on this second lap. I'm not sure that this is going to get him a good lap. And no, it's about 2/10 slower. This one's looking a little bit better. Just riding that cushion nice and perfectly. That was great, nice and smooth through 1 and 2. Try to diamond off 3 and 4.
There is an award for the driver who has the most fastest times in qualifying this season. I believe that's probably going to go to Brendan Rogers as he has 5 of those to his credit.
Crum's last lap was not faster. And unfortunately, it was almost a second slower. Actually, no, half a second slower. So we look at Purdue.
Oh, that one won't count.
And it looks like he's going to continue it on. I'm surprised. That was a pretty hard thunk.
See him down at the bottom looking to try to get in a time. Good news for Purdue is the field is small today, so it won't cost him too much if he's down at the very bottom.
Yeah, it was way too far out in the cushion. You want to flirt with the edge of the cushion, but not be in it necessarily, because you can actually slow yourself down that way. First lap didn't count because he touched the wall. Second lap was an 18.9, which is still a little slow for Aiden.
Just a 10th slower than Batterby, but faster than Crum. Nope, I got that wrong. Sorry, Joe. He's down in 5th.
Yeah, he's 2 spots lower than Crum. He's in row 3. Last one through. It's just a hair faster, but he stays in P5.
One more driver to put in a time, and that would be Keith Smith.
Oh, well, that's not going to count. And indeed, his first lap, he touched the wall or did something where it didn't count. This is his second one, and he's probably damaged enough. I don't think he'll be able to continue. He's going to try it. Yep, he's back out there.
He's back out there. Of course, he's trying to get that fastest qualifying so he can get the Competition Suspension Inc., the Pit Logic QuickTime Award is what he's hoping for. Pit Logic is the most comprehensive chassis and shock setup application on the market, available on Google Play and Apple App Store. Check him out at competitionsuspension.com/CSI-logic-app. And I don't think he's going to have to worry about that coming his way, because he did not get in a good time.
But he got a time in. That was important.
Oh, okay.
That puts him 15th. See, you talked about the QuickTime Award. I thought maybe that was for filmmakers out here. So,
that would be good.
That was a filmmaker software joke. That's very few people watching this actually understood that one, probably.
And I believe all of our times in, everybody is in. They've got their times in, and we can go to the grid right now. We're going to start with our first heat. It's going to be Joe's Racing Products. This is going to be heat number 1. Joe's Racing Products designs and manufactures quality and innovative race products in the USA. Find out more at joesracing.com. And now to Joe Peak.
Yeah, Carter Batterby, as you mentioned, up at the top. Chance Crum's going to be on the outside of him. Aiden Perdue, because of his time, gets slotted into 3rd. Jonathan Schaefer will start P4, and then Avery Goodman in 5th. On the outside of that row, it's Parker Leak. Colin Mitchell starts in 7th. Heath Smith, who we saw the last one to get a time in, starts 8th. And Jet Barnes in 9th. Bill?
If you're planning to go to the refrigerator and make yourself a snack, you don't want to do that. We're going to have a quick one tonight. They just have 2 heats on tap. Then we'll go right to a semi and then get to the A main coming up. With such few drivers here, basically what these guys are doing are fighting for positions in the A main.
Yeah, and the fights for positions are going to be probably kind of difficult. It'll likely be pretty single file for the most part, I expect. What'll be really telling is how quickly the track slicks up, like I was talking about. Because if it starts to spread out and it fills all the way from top to bottom, it's every man for himself, essentially. It's whoever can get out there and figure out how to modulate the throttle on the slickness of the track and find speed off the corner. Or honestly, not even just that, Bill, but who can keep from spinning out just because it's that tough.
Carter Batterby hailing out of Montgomery, Texas. 8 laps between him and his first heat race win this season. The man outside, Chance Crum, who sits 4th in the points. The truck completes the first lap. It'll pull in next time around and we'll go racing. Aiden Perdue in that familiar blue and yellow machine, sitting 2nd in the points. 3rd on the grid inside of row 2.
Because the track is mostly kind of given a cushion up towards the outside, especially from what we saw in qualifying, I expect the high line is going to be the fast line, which means with these cars, you really can try that slide job. The thing is, you got to time it just perfect to get into the line. If you go above the line, you're just going to open it up for the driver taking the natural line to just stream on by you, basically.
And the truck pulls in, and we're about to go racing here for the season finale. Let's go! Carter Batterby with a great jump out front. Perdue on the inside, fighting for that 2nd spot. He's got Crum to the top. They bang. That's going to open the door for Jonathan Schaefer if he wants it back and forth. Does not happen. Perdue out in front right now. Joe inside.
They got really lucky. Again, open wheel sprint cars. If they touch wheels, they can go flying so easily. You don't want to hit side to side like that too much. Oh, and Jonathan Schaefer's on his lid already. So is a few other cars. Goodman and Smith.
Parker Leak got into the tumbling Schaefer, so more cars out of it. This is all good news for Carter Batterby, who comes across now working lap number 3. Well out in front. Give him a 20-car length lead on Aiden Perdue. Perdue and Crum, though, in a battle, not only in the point standings, but on track right now. And I think that Perdue's beginning to close in a bit on Batterby.
That seems like Perdue's been kind of hanging out. Oh, but that was a bad turn, too, for him. He lost a lot of time. It's very easy, even though there's so much grunt underneath these cars. Again, it's a single gear. So if you lose the revs, you lose momentum, and it's very hard to gain it back.
That's Heath Smith that they're just putting a lap on right now in that gray-colored machine up top. Help me, Lord, help me if it's light blue. He's
blue.
going to put it in the wall. The light blue car almost gets into Aiden Purdue, but he got by it.
And Crum, unfortunately, got into him as well. Kind of a robin's egg blue, Bill.
Yeah, my spidey senses were tingling on that one. Oh, getting together. That was Aiden Purdue got into another lap car of Jet Barnes.
Wow. So Chance Crum certainly going to inherit this second spot quite nicely, which he started in. So that bumps him back up. Colin Mitchell really is the one taking advantage of everybody having trouble out there. Although I think he's going to lose his spotter. Is that a lap car going by? That's Leak. Nope, that was for position. Leak up
coming across, working on the white flag right now. Man, oh man, he's got one of the largest leads we've had all season. This looks like Secretariat at the Kentucky Derby. Holy smokes, out of corner number 4, heading home, Carter Batterby. You can stop and have lunch and still win this thing. He gets the win. Chance Crum is going to get second.
Purdue winds up managing to come back for third. Parker Leak fourth, and Colin Mitchell in fifth. Avery Goodman is the one that winds up P6 on the lead lap though, and Jonathan Schaefer, the last one on the lead lap, in seventh. Barnes is the DNF in eighth, and Heath Smith behind him last in ninth.
Make a note of Carter Batterby when we go to the A main. He is going to be tough to catch. He'll be out on the pole. Well, now it's time for heat number 2. This is brought to you thanks to Factor One Chassis, Factor One Micro Sprint Chassis. You know, they've been providing an unfair advantage for over 3 decades. For more information, go to factor1racing.com.
Brennan Rogers starts on the inside of row 1 on the pole. Corey Day will be starting second, and then James Andrechuk in third. Hunter Brady is on the outside of row 2 in 4th place. Matt Kaiser P5. And they've got Sam Johnson in 6th, but he will not be starting this race. Of course, Brandon McCullum will be 7th, Kobe Stidham 8th, and Ryan Mitchell rounds out in 9th, but only 8 cars will take the start. Bill, it's interesting that you mentioned a horse race, because that's actually what this track started as. Many dirt tracks begin as horse racing tracks early in the century, and then they started bringing cars to them, and eventually the cars just were more popular.
Little known fact, the Indy 500, the first race there. Joe, what was the first race at the Indianapolis
heard
complex?
You say this.
You know what the answer is?
Maybe you should ask the audience instead.
All right, let's throw that out to the audience. We'll check back in with you later. The first official race at Indianapolis. I don't want to call it Motor Speedway, because I'm not sure if that was the name of it, but you know what I'm talking about. At the Brickyard.
I think it was the
first
place to call itself a motor speedway.
Yeah,
it was the first place to call itself a speedway, is what it was.
First, there we go. We're getting confirmation from around the horn there. Hey, Corey Day, nobody has more heat race wins than him, other than the man he is alongside, Brendan Rogers. Day with 4 already this season. So we got a couple guys who know how to race early on in the evening. Corey Day, the youngster, 13 years old, out of Clovis, California, alongside of the Camarillo Cannonball, our season champion.
Curious to see if Rogers can close things out without losing a single heat race, which will be incredibly impressive. That's not easy to do, because things do not always swing your way in qualifying.
He's good, but you have to have a little bit of luck, too, to be able to avoid all the stuff that's going on. I guess being out in front helps. All right, the pace car's been around once. Pace truck's been around once. Now it pulls in. We're going to go racing for our second heat. Rogers gets the jump. Day was kind of sleeping. Look at that blue car there from Andrechuk trying to get into the mix, up to third. Whee! Around the top side. Oh, no, that was Hunter Brady.
He gets hit multiple times. He is around about 720. And then gets it going once again, but he's last on the track after that first lap.
He had some nice momentum up there. He just ran out of real estate. So that put Rogers out in front on Day by about 10 car lengths. It's a long way back. That's the best battle is for third. Andrechuk being challenged by, or hard charging, Kobe Stidham.
The interesting thing here, Bill, is We should have everybody go to the A main since there's 16 cars that are taking part, because they usually aim for 16 cars in the A main. So this is mostly just determining your position at the end of the race, or at the start of the last race.
Yeah.
Anyways, you know what I meant, not what I said.
Well, the good news for Rogers and Day right now, as Day's beginning to get ran down a little bit by Anderchuk, as they will go straight to that A main. They'll be sitting up in row 1 or 2. They won't have to worry about anything bad happening to them in the semis. Look at this race going on, though. Day is beginning. Anderchuk is coming on him, and Stidham back and forth. This is good racing as they work lap number 5.
Interesting line differences I'm seeing here, and now it looks like Stidham's trying that, what he's seeing Corey Day do, because Day runs it up high like everybody else is, and then he cuts down. Didn't see it from on board Anderchuk there, because we're looking back at Stidham, who didn't do it that time. But Corey's making this work. The only reason that I'm a little worried about that line is it takes you right across where it's slicked up on the exit of the corners, and it's so easy to spin the car.
Ryan Mitchell does a good job of letting the leader go by, and Brendan Rogers now working lap number 7 there, and we go up to the front right now. Rogers coming around getting the white flag lap. He has won 10 heat races already. This will heat race number 11 if he can bring it home these final 4 corners. Soup, there's 12 races at this season. You said he won them all. Well, he missed the first round. So he didn't win that one, but everyone he's been in, he's winning, and that's what's going to happen right now. Out of 4, give another heat race win to Brendan Rogers. Day's going to get second. Looks like Kobe Stidham Joe's going to get that 3rd spot.
Yeah, Anderchuk is going to wind up in P4 with Matt Kaiser finishing 5th. Brandon McCullough, the last one on the lead lap there in P6. Mitchell was a lap down in 7th, and Hunter Brady with his problems was last in 8th.
And so now I might need a little help from somebody to tell me where we're going to. Are we going to a
going to
semi?
the B main. Yep.
To the B main. Okay, so let's go right down here. And who's sponsoring our B main now? We're going to go with Allgaier Performance Parts. I think they're going to be our sponsor for this one, for our what we call in our semifinal here. Your one-stop shop for everything high performance in the Midwest. Now check them out on Facebook. Okay, Joe, who we got?
Aiden Perdue starting on the pole since he didn't get through. Kobe Stidham will be in 2nd and Parker Leak 3rd. James Anderchuk will be P4 with Colin Mitchell 5th and Matt Kaiser P6. Avery Goodman starts 7th. Brandon McCullough starts 8th. Bill?
In 9th, that's the man who sits 5th in points, Jonathan Schaefer. He's going to be inside of Ryan Mitchell. The next drivers are Jet Barnes. We saw him have a little trouble as he was lap traffic and he got punched. Hunter Brady also had trouble. He's going to be in the 12th position. Heath Smith and Sam Johnson go 13th and 14th.
Now, I think I was slightly incorrect. I'm seeing that 12 are advancing to the feature. We're going to have 13 cars take part since Johnson's not going to be racing in this one. So essentially, Bill, there is one very, very unlucky driver after this who will not make it to the big show.
That just seems overly cruel. That's just, golly. It'd be better
The chances are in your favor, at least.
Yeah, but I'm making a point right now. Whoever finishes last, I'm not going to mention them. I just think it's just too sad. Okay. Somebody we don't have to probably worry about finishing last out there is Aiden Perdue. He works around that first parade lap.
You just put the commentator's curse on Aiden Perdue.
Oh, he's in good shape.
He's not going to finish last.
A little bit of a love tap there from Parker Leak. Don't know a lot about Parker. Good to have him with us.
Looks like
Parker
he's a
Leak.
Hoosier, so.
He is indeed 10 years old, out of Warsaw, Indiana. Okay. Well, he's giving a little bit of love tap to Aiden Perdue to let him know he's there. He does it one more time. I think Aiden's saying, I hear you, kid. All right. Oh, more tapping going on. A lot of bumping. Perdue says, enough of this. I'm gone. Great jump for Perdue.
Yeah, a really incredible start. Nice battle for second behind them, but I think Stidham's going to be able to get that. Car down low is Parker Leak that you saw, but really lost out on that run into the first two corners.
Anderchuk is that blue car in the middle between those guys working on Stidham right now. And sure enough, at the line, I believe Anderchuk's going to get credit with leading that one. He now moves up into second. Stidham under attack from Parker Leak. Didn't mention it, but this being a semi-Joe, we're going 10 laps.
Seeing a lot of slide jobs out there, and worked out for Parker Leak really well. And 3 and 4, Stidham looks like he is struggling for some reason.
Oh boy, the fun of making a stab in there with Jonathan Schaefer. Did a slide job up on Stidham, could not clear him. That lets Matt Kaiser get a little bit away. Look at the move from Schaefer. Oh, he's fun to watch as he gets in front of Stidham.
Well, the sad news is we've already got a car that's off track, so I think we found our one who is leaving for tonight. Everybody else that's still out there should make it. Battle for second, though. My goodness.
Look at this. Oh, and a little bit of help. Now he's in the wall. He bumped him, and that's Anderchuk. Got in behind him. Bounced up into the wall. Leak continues.
Anderchuk gets back out on track. I'm curious how damaged the car is from that. Must have missed another problem because Jet Barnes has gone into the pits.
Look at the driver in third. He just went around the outside of Matt Kaiser. Watch out for this guy when we get to the amen. Jonathan Schaefer, because he's coming now on Parker Leak.
So disappointed in the point. You had all these puns, and then you got to Schaefer, and he got nothing from you.
Oh, look at the run he's got.
There, that line is getting dangerously close to the Armco, and lap traffic playing a role.
That's Heath Smith that slowed him down, and now it's Matt Kaiser that takes advantage of the lap traffic, and now Kaiser is behind the 18 of Smith. Smith just running his line up there, nothing wrong with what he's doing.
Yeah, Parker Leak was the one that got turned around, and he wound up in fourth, and now he's struggling even more, and more cars are going by.
Look at this battle for second. That is Schaefer that gets into Kaiser. Kaiser now has a clear run at it. He's safe in second. We are on the white flag lap. Coming out of the final corner. No, I apologize. One more lap to go after this one.
Trying to give a heads up to the lap traffic. That is Jet Barnes trying to stay out of the way. Whew, just times it perfect. I was going to say, Aiden Purdue's not out of the woods.
Final corner. Let's give the win to Purdue. Second place. He is a long way back. He's coming. He's a-coming. That's going to be Matt Kaiser, but boy, it was exciting.
In fact, I think there's very few drivers left on the lead lap because I'm seeing Schaefer in third. No, Anderchuk winds up getting third. Schaefer must have had something happen to him because Leak is now in fourth, Mitchell in fifth, Stidham's P6. Schaefer wound up seventh. Must have had a very late, nope. Make that eighth because Brady now came in. So Schaefer eighth, Brennan McCullough ninth, Sam Johnson, it went out of order on me. Brandon McCullough ninth, Heath Smith 10th, Ryan Mitchell 11th, Avery Goodman 12th, and Jet Barnes, the last one, in P13. Bill?
I'm not going to mention the final name. We're going to use the Baltimore rule on this one. All right, it's time for the main event, brought to you by Hergot Real Estate Group. Servicing the greater Indianapolis area, we specialize in helping racers find the home and shop of their dreams. And speaking of Indianapolis, let's go ahead and give the answer to our trivia question. The first race ever at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, a balloon race in 1909.
So starting on pole, Carter Batterby is followed by Brennan Rogers with Chance Crum starting in third. Outside of row 2 has Corey Day. Aiden Purdue's good performance there in the semi puts him in fifth. Matt Kaiser 6th and James Anderchuk 7th. Parker Leak will wind up 8th today.
Colin Mitchell and Cody Stidham fill up the next row. Hunter Brady and Jonathan Schaefer go 11th and 12th. Brandon McCullum is in the Baker's dozen position. Heath Smith outside of him. Ryan Mitchell in 15th. All ribbons and curls in the Sweet 16th position is Avery Goodman. Remember what you saw from Carter Batterby in the heat race. He was untouchable. Your fastest qualifier. Go ahead.
Here's where it gets interesting is the track conditions have changed again. They've refreshed it one more time to about 15%. So there's no slicked up parts that I'm seeing. There's dried up parts, but it's going to be a much faster track.
Batterby has been here the whole season. He's your fastest qualifier. He won his heat race looking to get a perfect 115-point score if he can get home first in the A main, but he's got Brendan Rogers to the outside. Let's see if Batterby can get first into corner number 1. And I believe he is, as he gets a great jump.
Rogers really chopped off Crum down into the first corner bravely, but timed it just perfectly.
40 laps on tap for this one. There will be caution flags. Batterby out in front, now in second is Rogers. Crum in third. Day and Purdue round out your top 5.
I think that's a great way of putting it. There will be caution flags, and there's our first one right there. I think that was Brady. Out of 4, he and Smith got a little bit together. Brady got the worst of it and went for a tumble into the Armco.
A little bit of tap from Smith with Brady in the wall, and then the aerobatic started. Right on board.
Because he landed on his lid, he's had to take a tow. That'll put him a few laps down at this point. He could yet still get out there because these cars have proven pretty hardy from what we've seen. Drivers just, once they get back on their wheels, pull it out and keep going.
Okay, working lap number 4 right now. Pace laps are quick here. Well, a good start from Batterby when they were too wide. Now he'll be out in front. He'll have Rogers behind him, Crum, Day, and Purdue. My goodness, that is an all-star lineup.
Good news is it seems like Purdue's connection's been pretty decent. In the past, he's been having troubles with that, and I've only seen him blink away once all race. Granted, I didn't watch him a whole lot last semi just because he was so far ahead.
Possibly in his town, the neighbors are all on vacation, and the stream to his house is has a little clearer path. The pipe's a little wider. How's that for? I know nothing about technology, but it seems like that could be a reason. I'm sticking with.
Thank you, Al Gore.
Okay, let's see what Chance Crum can do back there from third.
Yeah, especially with the championship out of it here, I kind of expect to see a little bit more aggressive racing too, because the only thing on the line now is just the win, trying to get as much, get as good a finish as you can.
Boy, it'd be nice for Batterby to get the win. He's been here all season, showing up all the time. He gets a good jump. And Carter will be working lap number 6, and he's got a 2-car length lead on the points leader. Brendan Rogers are going to get together. Oh, look at the car control from Rogers, as I thought it was a sure thing. But no, Rogers stays off of him. He gets underneath him. He slides up in front of him. He gets the power down, and he makes the pass.
As soon as he saw the door open for a slide job, he got that car in there and powered it off. Batterby's struggling now, trying to pull the same move. It worked horribly through 1 and 2. Look at all the time he lost.
Now going underneath is Corey Day. Corey Day trying to get the power down as well on the low side. I think he's going to be able to finish it a little up and under from Batterby. They swap positions, but watch Day get the momentum off. Watching the whole thing is Aiden Purdue. Great racing perspective.
Yeah, Day was way too shallow down into turn 1. He's going to try it again, and he's holding low. I think he's got it. Carter Batterby is just falling backwards now. He's down to third. Oh, and he's was all kinds of sideways into 1.
Aiden Purdue had a good view of that one as we ride on board with Purdue looking up at the man who started on the front row. Now back in third, Batterby. Purdue trying to go underneath him.
Doesn't matter what you do, Rogers just seems to be in control. As once again, Purdue nearly getting into Batterby into one. Oh, and we got a caution. I think that's Matt Kaiser.
Kaiser making contact with Jonathan Schaefer. Schaefer was going underneath him.
This is just a racing deal, I'd say, between these two. Schaefer would have seen him there, but he was fighting with the car that was behind him, which was Colin Mitchell, and they were both low. So it was kind of a case where he was coming in shallow, a little too hot, didn't know that Kaiser was going to be right there. And it was the slightest touches to send Kaiser into the Armco. Just inches different, and that would have been perfectly fine.
So let's set the stage for you up front now. Brendan Rogers, who made a great pass on Carter Batterby to get the lead. Corey Day followed him through, is in second. Batterby's fallen back to third. Chance Crum has lost a position in fourth. And watching the whole thing from fifth the entire race, Aiden Purdue, and it's not for lack of trying that he is in fifth. He just can't get around the guys in front.
I think Corey Day is the one to watch for me. He's probably the most likely to be able to take it to Brendan Rogers. But I'm not totally confident that he's got the pace, because right now the number 30 is just look completely solid, like just unstoppable out there. So I think Day's going to have to bring his A game to try and overtake him.
"13-year-old of Corey Day." Viewers, you might want to write some of these names down of these youngsters. One of these guys might be the next Tony Stewart, perhaps, or Jeff Gordon we're watching out there. Give him 5 or 6 years. May see him racing for big money. Hard charger. Who else? Kobe Stidham. Up 4 spots from 10th into 6th.
Here
The
we
truck
go.
is in. Corey Day took a little peek to the inside and actually wasn't too bad. He keeps the 41 in hunt as they're side by side through the first corner. The momentum will go to Rogers, but a good attempt from Day.
It was a good attempt, but he was polite there because he knew he didn't have the car ahead, so he didn't want to slide up and actually run into our leader. Unfortunately, because of that, it cost him so much momentum. Look at how much of a gap is built up in just 2 laps here.
Day was down on the low line, and he kept it down there until he knew he could get up in front of Batterby. Some great racecraft from Day.
Again. I think it's Heath Smith. This is a lone car incident. Just essentially took it way too hot. And unfortunately, all the power in the world will not save you at that point. Gets it going once more.
I don't want any of the viewers to infer anything from my next comment, but one of the disadvantages to letting everybody in is it lets everybody into the A main.
Except for Jet Barnes.
There we go.
I said his name when I read off.
I didn't know you did. I did.
Yeah.
I had mentally blocked it out just out of religious reasons.
It was your coping mechanism, right?
Yeah, that was exactly it. You know, I got to give credit to Day that time. He looked to the inside, and he took a shot at Rogers. It didn't work out for him, and actually it cost him a lot of momentum. He almost lost the spot to Batterby and Crum as they come up on him. Let's see if he learned anything.
Yeah, the state of the track right now, you really got to make sure that it's a sure thing if you try to send that in at the start. And you saw what happened. It's exactly like we said, Bill. Because he couldn't get up to the high side, it's a sharper line, so you really can't carry the speed that you need. Even though it doesn't seem like these would be momentum cars, they still are. There's so much power that it's just kind of unexpected if you're not used to it. But it helps you so much using that power to keep that momentum up, carry it off the corner, and that's what gets you the spot, is you ruining the momentum of the car behind you. But if you're not able to do that and get up in front of them, you're the one that suffers instead.
Yeah, try as he might, is kind of like competing with George Clooney in being a cool competition. I mean, you can try as that. It's hard to beat that guy. Rogers with a good job. Look at Day. What's that, Joe?
I said I'd send Miles Davis in there.
Okay. Hey, look at
Oh,
this!
yeah, that's how you do it. Right there.
Brendan Rogers is going to have to work to get this one. They work lap 22, and it is the Corey Day out in front, and pulling away is Day.
Hey, Batterby's getting back in the mix. He got the shot off at turn 4. Now he's going to try and undercut Brendan Rogers for that second spot, and I think it's going to work.
Rogers was really wheeling that car, trying to get it to go straight, and he loses the spot. Batterby now up into second.
You know what I think what happened is Day watched didn't watch, but he took notes on what happened on that first restart and decided, okay, that didn't work. Let's do it this way this time. Meanwhile, this battle for second is just a ding-dong back and forth between Rogers and Batterby.
Right now, it's Batterby out in front. Rogers chasing. Another great battle is what's going on behind and we don't want to leave that one, but Crum and Purdue and Stidham was actually up into fourth for a while. Look at this battle for second. Here he goes again.
But it's starting to become a battle for first. They're regaining ground on Corey Day. Look how much closer they are to the number 41 car.
They are definitely coming. 18 to go, and right now Day has Rogers behind him. Batterby struggling to stay with him.
Ooh, he's trying it. Brendan Rogers is trying to return the favor. We got a caution. It's Goodman. Goodman also trying the slide job and showing how not to do it.
Well, that'll allow everybody catching their breath.
The only car involved in it. Looks like he's a little far back. Here it comes. He was trying to overtake Schaefer. Schaefer saw it coming, let him have the inside, and oops. Rubber does grip metal Armco, by the way, Bill.
Yeah, we're looking at Rogers.
Yeah, even if he gets second place, I think Rogers should be pretty jolly after this one.
Oh, God, I can't wait for the season. We're so close to the season. 15 laps to go, and I'm done with these. You don't think of California as really a short track mecca, but we got two Californians out there right now in Day and Rogers.
Rick Mears was a Californian, another Indy Car driver.
There you go.
Didn't come from the sprint car, the oval world though. He was dirt racing, basically out. I think it was quads and things of that nature.
Yeah, he was a Baja 500 type guy. Yeah. Him and his brother Roger would do that. All right, Day out in front. Rogers in second. Crum and Purdue go fourth and fifth. Batterby in third. This has been a fun one.
Yeah, I've enjoyed the racing out here. These cars, as hard as they are to drive, honestly, I think because they're so hard to drive, have put on some really good racing out there. Fantastic stuff.
Honestly, Joe, it's my favorite one of the group. It's just
same, yeah.
A little less squirrely than the midgets. It's fun to watch them work. Day with a good jump.
But behind them, Batterby got a horrible start. He got a shove, and that almost puts him in the wall, actually.
And he bangs it in there now with the blue car of Crum, and that's going to let Purdue get underneath. Purdue now into the final podium spot.
Purdue was very shallow into three. He manages to make it stick. Nicely done by the 37. That could have been disaster because he was inches from the Armco.
They race in a line from second to sixth right now.
Oh, Rogers got the wall.
Rogers in the wall.
And he's collecting the fuel with him.
Somehow he manages to stay on his wheels. Everybody and his brother hit him going by. I think the entire field took out a season of frustration on the points leader.
Oof, this is a rare sight.
1, 2, there's the car. How about 3? They're not done yet.
Get out your your solar eclipse glasses, Bill, because we might not see this one again.
He's got 88 points in his pocket thanks to drop races. His championship is secure, but that was exciting.
Nobody around him, all on his own mistake. Just flat drove it in too hard and hit the wall.
Bled his own blood, as they say in the movies. That moves Purdue, who was just back in 5th last time we checked, was able to get around Batterby and Crum, and then when Rogers had his problems, Aiden finds himself in 2nd.
Still got 13 cars out there still running. Goodman and Brady, the only ones sitting in the pits currently.
10 laps to go. It'll be 9. It'll be 8 to go when they take the green flag. Getting confirmation that there are no green-white checkers in this event, so hopefully we can get this one to go under green.
And what that means,
traffic.
It's going to be incredibly important to be in front towards the end. So Aiden Purdue's probably going to pull a slide job down in the first corner, knowing that he needs to be in front in case there's a yellow.
All right, the pace truck pulling in for what I believe the final time this season. Oh, what a jump from Corey Purdue. Careful, Corey. You may get black light for passing the truck. I think you're okay. Oh, my goodness. He gets a great jump. Purdue now in 2nd, Batterby right behind. They were not going to snooker the kid on that one.
Batterby keep in touch there with Purdue. Very few laps left, though. Oh, Batterby already trying to slide job, and we got a caution again. This was Mitchell. Did he have some help on this one?
No, I think he put it in the wall all himself.
Yeah, he did. He did get clipped, but it wasn't the fault of Matt Kaiser who clipped him. He's just going to finish the job there.
So we do have time to come back and go green, right, Joe? Yeah, we'll be okay.
Yeah. We're going to get, I think, one more stab at a green flag start. If we get another caution, that's probably going to be it.
Well, this would be interesting, as the old man, Aiden Purdue, might have learned something there on that one, as Corey Day took off really early. I was a little worried as he was waving at the pace truck driver on the way by.
Yeah, I think he barely managed to get around, and I would have been curious to see if they would have cleared his black flag or not. I would hope and I would suspect that they wouldn't, because that's really just a flagrant rule violation.
Yeah.
Sometimes drivers do ask for black flags to be cleared because there can be some screwy stuff with the cautions with that. But yeah, that one, if I was the admin, I'd say, nope, you got to take that penalty.
Lights are on the pace truck. We'll go around one more time. One of the neat features of this this racetrack here that iRacing has put in, this is their actual traffic on the outside of the racetrack. Saw the traffic going by. They're going just a little faster than the pace truck right now. Just outside of corner number 1.
So I think they're doing about maybe 50 miles an hour.
Yeah.
The pace truck's doing about 40.
Yeah. Okay, 3 laps to go.
I don't know why we're managing to care and tell the audience about the pace of the traffic outside the track, but okay. It just hit me. Why do I say that?
I liked it. I enjoyed it. Well, we're going to worry about the pace of these cars for 3 laps. Look how far back the day is. Truck is in. He's got this timed right, and he goes. Purdue stayed right with him.
There's a bunch of people that tried to time it in the back, and there was a lot of contact. I'm surprised we didn't get a caution out of that, but it looks like we're good for now.
Purdue had a pretty good run out of 2. Now they go into 3 and 4. The blue car of Aiden Purdue right there. Corey Day looking for his first win, main event win. Blinking a little bit.
Yeah, both of them blinking. Purdue got awful close coming off the corner at 2. Batterby keeps trying the low line. I don't blame him. He's got to try something different to give himself a shot here.
White flag. Corey Day out in front. I correct myself. He already has a main event win. He's looking to pick up his second one. Purdue trying everything he can. Batterby trying to get underneath. The final race of the season is going to go to the kid from California, Corey Day.
I was not sure at first about that move into 3. He went shallow into there. I thought, oh, he's going to ruin his run off the corner. Purdue could snipe it, but he didn't quite have enough of it. So he lucked out, but a nice job by everybody out there.
They're dancing in Clovis right now. Aiden Purdue gets second. Carter Batterby put on a good performance. We'll get third. The racing is over here in Iowa, but our broadcast is far from done. We'll take a short break. We'll come back to run down the entire field, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate for the final time this season. You're watching the Global Sim Racing Channel.
I can still remember what it was like the first time I stepped into a race car. The sound of the engine, the anticipation, but I never could have imagined where this journey would take me. My father once told me that racing is just like life. You have to stay on your toes, because you never know what's around the next corner. My name is Bill Watson, and this is my story.
Streaming cyberspace into your place. We are the Global Sim Racing Channel. Who are you? For you, the viewers, are lucky enough to witness our coverage of the CSI Shocks Spring Season Championship, the final round from Knoxville, where it was indeed Corey Day who picked up the win. Behind him was Aiden Purdue. Carter Batterby was fast all night long. He has to settle for third. Chance Crum and Kobe Sidham go fourth and fifth. Brendan Rogers, well, he got his heat race win, but he didn't finish so well in the main event. He'll have to settle for sixth. Jonathan Schaefer in seventh. And the driver in eighth, Joe, that was Colin Mitchell.
Parker Leak wound up in ninth, with James Andrzejczyk being the last driver on the lead lap in 10th. Brandon McCullough was 11th, with Ryan Mitchell in 12th. Then you get to cars who had some real trouble. Matt Kaiser, 13, 4 laps down. And our DNFs, of course, Avery Goodman, Hunter Brady, and Heath Smith. Bill?
All right, I have the honor of talking to the man who finished second in the championship points, and that is Aiden Perdue. He was out in front for a little while in the feature, and he got snookered there.
Yeah, that's part of racing, it's all what happens, it's definitely nerve-wracking being up there. Definitely, we can start in the heat, for example. We had that thing at second at least. And then, we had lapper interfere, which it happens, but, just be aware of your surroundings. That's what I was kind of upset about. But, after that, we had a recovery and finished third. We had to start first in the B main, which that wasn't too bad. Got in that, won that. And then, we kind of studied the track, stayed through all those, and I kind of came up with a little game plan. I knew what the car wanted. I knew what the car felt like for more than what I did in hot laps. So I knew then we had a pretty good shot. And, in the beginning, we were running strong, passed a couple cars, was kind of hanging in there for a while, being smart, trying not to wreck early on. And, then we caught, I think it was Batterby got kind of loose. Got around him later on, but that kind of messed me up. I know that allowed Crum to get by me. And then once that happened, we had a yellow, and I kind of calmed myself down, and definitely then set into a groove and got ready. And then, we got kind of lucky. There was 2 cars that got tangled, and that definitely helped me get around them. And, that put us in second. So then I just definitely set into a groove. And congrats on Corey Day on winning. I think Brendan Rogers ended up being the champion. Congrats to him. It's a blast racing with all you guys.
It was fun watching the race all season. You didn't get the win tonight, but you finished it up with a strong performance. Good luck. We'll hope to see you again when we come back sometime in the future here with this series.
Thank you.
Aiden Perdue, our second place finisher here today, Joe. I think that goes on. Before I wrap it up for the final time, Joe, let's go ahead and talk about what we just experienced over the last 12 weeks. It was darn entertaining.
Yeah, and I was just thinking about that too. That what a perfect series really to dip our toes in here, because this was our first full season series on dirt on the GSRC, and we got to experience the breadth and width, not just in tracks but in cars too. So hopefully our GSRC audience has kind of gotten a feel and maybe gotten bit by the bug a little bit out here on the dirty side of racing.
I certainly did. I enjoyed working with you all season long. Hey, we'd like to thank the sponsors, especially the series sponsor, and that is CSI Shocks, for making this broadcast a reality. On the screen now are just some of the equipment and software used to stream cyberspace into your place. Got to give thanks to June Lalonde. She provided the music for the entire season. See the screen to how to get a hold of more of her great work. With this being the final round of the season in the books now, this concludes GSRC's coverage of the CSI Shocks Spring Season Championship. We hope you enjoyed watching as much as GSRC enjoyed showing it to you. Rest assured, when the series organizers announce the dates for next season, they've asked GSRC will be there to bring you all the action. Sliding across your screen now are just some of the upcoming GSRC broadcasts that we know we're going to cover, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. If you want more information about us, including when this series will return, your best bet, go to globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter, though. You can get some announcements there at GSR channel. Gee, I've done that enough, haven't I? Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Graham. Also, if you haven't done so yet, become one of our YouTube subscribers by hitting that big red button so you don't miss a thing here on GSRC. Finally, on behalf of the entire crew, that would be Joe, Sean, and Dougie, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. As it was Corey Day picking up his second feature win of the season. Aiden Perdue came in second, and one more time, congratulations to our champion, Brendan Rogers, as he wins the first season crown. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.